We
We're
are.
live.
We are live.
But we're so small. Why are we so small?
I
We
don't
weren't
know.
that small.
There we are.
There we go. That's much better.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 2 of This Is Us.
What is that red dot?
Where?
Look.
I don't know.
Look. Just watch.
I don't know what that is.
That's really weird. It's like an orb.
An orb.
That was strange.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Stupid red dot.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Stay away.
I need to move over or something. No. This
Okay,
way.
well, whatever.
Oh!
Okay.
I'm out of frame. I'm trying to... Okay.
Okay. There we
There?
go. I'm sure, I guess.
Okay.
It's so strange being backwards.
It is.
It's been an exhausting day. Today is, should we say what day it is? I don't know.
Well, we're filming on a Saturday.
We're filming on a Saturday, right.
Because we're not out playing, so... we can film
Some
on
people
Saturday.
are. No, I wonder how people feel about that.
I don't know.
There are
Leave us a
some.
comment and let us know.
There are some places that are having bands already, and I guess that's okay. Especially, well, some of the outdoor ones maybe, but I think it's kind of early. Here it is. Today's January 16th. To be real, we may not be releasing this for a couple of days, but it just seems like with all the COVID strains and the new ones coming out, that maybe we are going back too early. I don't know. I mean, it would be nice to go back to work, and I know our friends, a lot of our friends, are happy to be back at work. Mm-hmm. But I wonder what the crowds are like, and I'm wondering, would you go out and see a band now?
I have to laugh because this reminds me of the last time that we played. What is that? That's what that is.
It's a cat. It's a cat. Where'd you come from? Look at that. It's a cat. This cat just mysteriously appeared out of nowhere. Her and her little red collar right there.
Now I know.
Want to say hi?
This
Say
is
hi.
Aowen. She's part of our kitty committee.
Yes, she is.
We love Lord of the Rings, so we named her
Aowen.
after one of the characters.
Yes.
There's a story about that too, but we'll talk about that in maybe another podcast. It really has nothing to do with music. This has to do with music.
Okay, what were you going to say about whether we should go back or not?
Yeah, so this has to do with music and the idea of going back with people and all this kind of stuff. So our last performance that we did, we were at Thursdays, actually.
We were. We love that place.
We do.
It's a great place.
We love Thursdays.
In Bridgewater, Pennsylvania.
But, it was during the midst of the pandemic, which we're still in.
410 Wolf Lane.
And so we
This is a funny story.
It is. We specifically, and you guys out there that are musicians will totally really think this is funny. So we specifically set up early in the afternoon, way prior to the gig, so that we wouldn't have to encounter people other than the staff that works there and stuff like that. So we figured there wouldn't be that many people. It would be safe to set up. We could wear our masks and everything because you have to wear your mask inside unless you're eating or you're actually doing your performance. So we set up early, got everything done. The stage looked beautiful. And we decided, because we had like an hour or two before the show, we were going to go get something to eat. So we went to the hot dog shop, which is one of our favorite little places to eat. Kind of in a hurry. It's enjoyable. And you can sit down and relax. So we went to the one in Beaver because... Beaver? Yeah, the one in Beaver because it was closest. And also there's a nice little seating area, and they were allowing people to sit in there. And some of the hot dog shops, I think, weren't. It was takeout. Like the one in Rochester, I think, was takeout. But anyways, so it was Jimmy and me. It was Ray Fernandez, our bass player. I don't think Danny Allison, he didn't go with us. Danny Allison, our guitar player, didn't go with us.
Actually, he wasn't even there yet, I don't think. We were there early. And
oh, you're right. He wasn't there early to set up because he had something to do prior that he had a commitment for, so
yes.
he wasn't able to do that. But we did bring Brad Weston with us, and Brad is our roadie, and
he helps us out tremendously.
Yeah, and very good friend of ours. So, anyways, we all piled into the car and we went to the hot dog shop. We went in one car just to make it easier. Ray drove. We had a really nice meal at the hot dog shop, and on our way back, as soon as we pulled up to Thursday's and pulled around the bend and into the parking lot, it was like the weirdest thing. It was almost like in a movie. Ray stopped the car. All of us took a breath, all at the same time. And all at the same time, we went, oh my God, there's people.
The parking lot was full.
The parking lot was full.
In the midst of COVID, mind you, or toward the end of it or in the middle of it.
And what is so funny, and we started cracking up, and today we still laugh about this, because any other time, when it's not pandemic times, you want people to be at your show.
Always.
You want a full parking lot. You want tons of cars, which means, more than likely, tons of people.
Right.
And we all stopped, took a deep breath, and at the same time, the four of us went, oh my God, there's people. We were like, we were flipping out. So we got into the show, into the door. It was packed. There was a packed house. Oh my God.
Turned out to be a fun night.
It was a fun night.
We didn't really associate with anybody, and if you were there, we apologize. Nothing personal. It's just that with COVID going on, we wore our masks, even on stage, if I remember. But I think you may have taken yours off to sing.
I actually didn't wear my mask on stage.
Ray wore his mask.
Ray did for a little while, and then he decided...
It's like, hey, Ray, you're kind of muffled. You might want to remove the mask on stage.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be okay after that. So
Ray, are you listening? You're muffled, Ray.
Yeah, Ray.
Anyways.
He couldn't tell.
Yeah, so we did our performance. It was a good night, and we were supposed to get a Halloween gig out of it. But I think we committed to the gig. We committed to the gig. It was a private party. But something happened. I can't remember now what happened. Oh. Something happened.
COVID happened.
No. Something else happened.
Oh, COVID happened, if you want to know.
Okay. Well, COVID happened. Well, it was still happening.
It was around Halloween, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the time... Wait a second. No, there were a couple of... I
feel like Ray got sick or something, but it was not the flu. Yeah, that's what happened.
Ray got sick, and we said, well, you better quarantine for 14
days. Right, and
days.
it wasn't the flu, and it wasn't COVID. He just wasn't feeling well.
So we said, just to make sure everybody's safe, in case it was COVID.
That was, yeah.
We better quarantine, you, Ray, for 14 days. And that 14 days took us a day past, I believe, the Halloween party.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So, reluctantly, we don't like to cancel jobs at all. But we had to cancel that gig. We gave them plenty of notice to find somebody else. I think we gave them a week's notice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because we knew the 14 days was going to run into that particular day.
And they were super cool with it anyways because of COVID. I mean, they were probably a little bit taken back that we committed to a private party. Because a private party can sometimes be even a little bit more, like...
Loose?
Yeah. But, here's the thing about getting back into the swing of things, and I think we're going to talk a little bit more and pick up where we left off with our last podcast, too. But the thing about getting back to performing is that when people start drinking, and I don't mean us band members, because like our band, we don't really drink while we're performing. We just don't. Not that we're against it, we just don't. We might have like one drink or something, but we don't like excessively have drinks. I mainly, and I mentioned this in the last podcast, drink water. And I'm at home, so I like drinking it in a wine glass to make it fancy because I like to be fancy. But, you know, I like to drink water just to stay hydrated, and I think it's just good for your vocal cords and stuff when you're a singer. But in any event, the thing about it, when people start drinking at the bar and around at the show, they become loose and they forget about social distancing and all of that stuff. Not everyone. I do have to say that the folks that follow us on a regular were pretty good about wearing their masks. In fact, the last show, they actually wore their masks on stage while they were dancing.
They weren't dancing on stage.
No, they weren't dancing on stage. I'm sorry.
They were on the dance floor.
On the lower level of the dance floor. On the dance floor, they were wearing their masks, and I thought that was very respectful, because at Thursdays, anyways, where we were, the dance floor and the stage are not quite that far away from where like the front people stand, which would be Ray and me, because we're singing. We're in front, and Danny stands in front too, but he kind of like inches back a little bit because he's not singing. So, you know, it was very respectful that they had their masks on because they were close.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
It's just really weird times.
It is, and I hope this COVID thing goes away. The vaccine, I know a lot of people are getting it, and a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people aren't sure when they're going to be getting it. I heard on the news today that people 65 and over in the United States are going to be getting it first in line, I guess, but not in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm not really sure why. We have our own rules here. I'm just not sure what they are.
No.
I don't know if the governor knows what they are. But when he figures it out, he'll let us know.
Yeah, we're not going to get into politics.
No,
here.
we're not into politics at all. So,
at least here on this channel.
Stay healthy. We want you to stay healthy for sure. Stay safe. And just do everything you can to protect yourself and people around you.
So, Jimmy, let's pick up where we last left off. You know, we film these podcasts late at night. We're late night owls. We're like vampires. But, you know, we mentioned before we take care of Jimmy's mom. So, like, after an entire full day of caretaking, would you quit it? It's kind of exhausting. So, you know.
It is exhausting.
Yeah.
And for those of you who may be just tuning in and didn't see episode 1, what we're doing is we're just doing
we'll link it below, by the way.
We're doing a vlog.
A vlog.
We're doing a vlog
style podcast
about our particular band and our experiences and what we experienced, because a lot of times people wonder about things like that, but you don't wonder what they're like, you know, these people up on stage entertaining us or trying to entertain us, whichever the case may be. So what we're doing is we're letting you know how us became available. Us became a duo, a thing. And it started off with me and Sidewinder, starting off in 1990, and we basically got through, I don't know, around 2000 something, huh? 2001, 2002, 2003, like with Donnie, and he was our bass player at the time. Our guitar player was Kim. His name was Kim, and good player and decent singer. And we got up to the point where Donnie left the band, I believe, correct?
Right. And that's what we were last talking about.
So, when Donnie left the band, we needed another bass player, and preferably somebody who could sing, so that Dina could get a break once in a while rather than carry the whole night. But then again, too, Kim sang. So Dina carried most of the show vocally. Kim did a few songs, and Donnie did a lot of the songs in the band when he was in the band. So when Donnie left, Dina picked up more songs because Donnie probably did half the night.
Yeah.
Bring voice to it.
If you didn't watch the first podcast, and by the way, I said that I will link it. And in fact, the plan is I'm going to link not all of the podcasts, but I will link the last podcast after each episode. So if you missed what we were last talking about, because I don't know that each one is going to be like relevant to what we last talked about into the next. It just depends. It's like right now this story consumes a lot of time, so that's why we split it up. But I will always link anyways the previous podcast. But the plan also is we are creating a playlist of our podcasts. So as we move along, you can always catch every single episode in the playlist.
Yeah. What she said. I have no idea.
Jimmy doesn't understand. I mean, he's learning. He doesn't understand, like, how that works with YouTube and stuff. So that's,
Dean is the YouTube and Facebook social media queen. She's been doing this for a few years now. I rarely go on Facebook or social media anymore, to be honest with you. Too much drama for me. I go on it once in a while to check out my friends' pages and see what's going on. But I'm not into it nearly as much as Dina is.
I'm not so much into it anymore either.
Picking up our story, after Donnie, the bass player and vocalist, left the original Sidewinder. He was one of the original members, too. Mm-hmm. So that left me, once again, being the only original member of Sidewinder. And when Donnie left, I told him I'm keeping the name. I said, you go with these other guys. He went into another band. They already had a name. And I said, they're not going to want to change their name anyway. And he said, okay, I'm fine with that. So I kept the name, and we went on our pursuit for another bass player. And I'll tell you, when you're looking for a musician to fill in or to come in and be part of a family, it's really difficult. You want somebody who's going to be, you want somebody who's going to be part of the family. You want somebody who's going to get along, hopefully, with the other people in the band. And that doesn't always happen. No. It does not always happen.
You hope that, it's going to be fun. Like you can have a good time with the people involved.
Well, I don't know if all bands feel that way. That was our concept. We want to have fun on stage. We want the audience to have fun. We want it to be personable. We want people to come, sing, dance, laugh, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Get to know us as people. We want to get to know you as people if we can. And naturally, we want to entertain you, but we've always wanted it to be fun. Yeah. And if somebody would come in and, be a friend of ours that played in another band, we had no problems getting them up. They could come up and play guitar. They could come up and play drums. Mm. They could come up and sing. Bob Spack, for example. If Bob would come, we would get him up, and if he had his accordion, we'd tell him to come up and play his accordion. Yeah. If they had their axe in the car or whatever. Greg Paul came to Baruni's one night, and he sat in and did a kick-ass job on, what was the name of the song? Bonnie Raitt? Yeah, we did a duo. We actually made it a duo of Bonnie Raitt's tune, I Can't Make You Love Me. And it was the first time they ever did it. David Cipriani. Keys. An excellent keyboard player. And Dennis Connolly. Dennis Connolly came up and played drums, and Bob played bass. Yeah. So. And I sang. And things like that happen once in a while, and to me, that's fun. We'll link that video, too. I mean, whenever you can get, your friends up there. And even if they're in another band, we're not the kind of people that try to outdo other bands. Well, we kind of do. I mean, there's always a competitive thing. But, I mean, you want to, there's enough work for everybody, and you want to give recognition to, if Bob was playing in a band, we would mention the band he was playing in. Right. And, like right now, he's playing with Frankie Piscopo and Dave Roman and the other guys in the project, Gretchen Steinmetz and Jack in a band called the Project Band, and the keyboard player Gene. Oh yeah, Gene Testa. And they're very good. They're a very good band. I used to play with some of them in a band called Dream Machine, and that was a good band. Yeah. So anyway, anytime we have an opportunity to give somebody recognition, get them up there to perform, I think it's just good for everybody, and that's a way of having fun. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we're all about, is just having a good time. As a matter of fact, my mantra with being in a band is, when it's not fun anymore, it's time to give it up for a while. And when it gets to that point, you know, when it's not fun and it becomes work and a job, and you've got to walk on eggshells because you might say something wrong that might offend somebody in the band, which is supposed to be a family, then, you know, nuts to that. You know, you don't need it. That's my opinion. I don't need it. And if I can't have fun and get along with people, I don't want to do it. I'll go find another band or some other people that have the same philosophy. Anyway, sometimes it's difficult, which brought us into this whole scenario that lasted the last 7.5 minutes. We were looking for a bass player, and it was really tough. And we were asking around and asking everybody, and finally I asked my friend Danny Page. I used to play with Danny years ago in a band called Alter, and Danny has a recording studio. And Dina and I at the time were recording Mysterious Origin, I believe. And we asked Danny, who said, do you know anybody that plays bass? I mean, we really need a bass player, somebody who's good, preferably somebody who sings, and somebody who can get along with us and have fun. And he thought about it and couldn't think of anybody. Then we went there a couple of times, and he said, hey, he goes, I might know a guy, you know, that plays bass. Well, really, he's a guitar player, but he plays bass, too. He's doing a recording session down here. And his name's Doug. I don't think we knew Doug at the time.
I don't think so, no. Not at the time.
So Danny let Doug know. I said, yeah. I said, if you could give him our number or get his number so that I can call him, we'll see if we can hook up and have a jam session. So we ended up hooking up, and he came over. We were rehearsing at Kim's house at the time, in his basement. So Kim, Dina, me, and Doug got together, and even though he was a guitar player being thrown on bass, he was okay with that, and he was good. He was very good. And it seemed like, you know, he would be able to get along with us. He had a quirky sense of humor and a nice guy, really a nice guy. And so we got Doug in a band playing bass.
Right.
So Sidewinder was back up and running again. Dina did most of the vocals. We changed some of our songs and our style to classic rock.
Oh, yeah, right.
Instead of doing like more country.
We were into country with Donnie, and we did maybe a few little classic rock songs with him. But then when we did this merge kind of thing with new people, we brought Doug in. We were already with Kim. We became a classic rock band.
We decided to go on, and the cool thing about Sidewinder is it went through a lot of changes. We started out as all country, was an all country band. We were playing Johnny Dollar's, Ponderosa Park. We were playing like all the top places around Pittsburgh and Ohio that had country bands, and we were good. Yeah, it was a good band. So we decided to change our style a little bit, because Donnie was more of the country person. He did the Elvis thing, and we didn't have that anymore. So Doug was into classic rock kind of stuff, and he liked things like the Police, and he liked some other things, and we decided to go with
Black Keys.
But this may have even been before that, but that vein of music.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at that point in time we decided to start. Did we start doing Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks at that point in time?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's when we. Yeah.
And we did that song. Oh my goodness, what was the name of it? The one I used claves in. Good song. It had a lot of changes.
That wasn't a Stevie Nicks song.
No, that wasn't Stevie Nicks.
A Fergie song. That was Fergie.
Was it Fergie?
Yeah, it was Fergie.
Anyway, you know,
I'll think of it in a minute.
You'll think of it.
I know I'm hearing
something
the words
about being at the school ground or the playground with you, and you're my friend.
You know, I hope you know.
That's it.
That this has nothing to do with you. Yeah, what is the name of that song? Big Girls Don't Cry. That's it. Yeah.
That would have driven me crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
Big Girls Don't Cry. We did things like that. We did, Fergie. We changed. We started doing some Motown stuff.
Oh, yes.
Some old R&B.
Yeah.
Which was really a lot of fun. Some Smokey Robinson, things of that nature. Ooh, Baby, Baby. We did some classics like Mustang Sally and things like that we weren't doing, but all songs that pretty much everybody knew. And, lo and behold, started, booking jobs again, and we were playing at least a couple times a week, and the band, again, was, we got tight after a while, and it was really good. But then, for some reason, one of the guys in the band, of course there's only two to choose from, we had a sound man, we had a light man, we had Earl. I think we got Earl into the band.
Oh, yes, we had Earl and Dorina.
And Isaiah.
Isaiah was our sound man.
Isaiah came in and did sound, and Earl came in and did lights. So we had a good show. We really had a good show.
Was Isaiah doing sound for us whenever it was Doug and Kim?
I believe he was, because when we went on with Marty, Stefan's friend
came in later.
Mario.
Yeah, Stefan's friend.
And then Mario ran sound for us.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Isaiah, because he was... Yeah, and then shortly after, he did his last thing for the school that he was involved in for sound at Mr. Small's. He was taking sound, recording and stuff there.
Well, that's after we had moved on.
Right, we had moved on. He was with us for a while. Okay, yeah.
So anyway, since we got
guys.
into about 20 minutes of this thing in the beginning, whatever that was, we'll make this a little bit shorter as far as this synopsis. We changed the music. We had a light man. We had a sound man. We were playing, we played Christmas parties. We played New Year's Eve. We were playing a couple of nights a week. And what happened was, I don't even know how to explain it, about like what happened, keep your feet off my stand, some of those things that were annoying.
Should we bring this up and talk about it?
Probably not.
Right.
But I think I already did.
Just, let's just say creative differences.
Yeah,
it had to do with equipment.
There were artistic differences, creative differences, regarding equipment.
Yeah.
And it caused some friction in the band.
Right.
And when you have friction in the band,
to put it.
That causes separation in the band, and then everybody's not on the same page, and then it gets... It's not fun.
Here's the thing, everybody.
When it's not fun, you know what happens.
We're not trying to diss anybody at all. We're just literally telling stories. As
our story.
Yes.
It's just our story.
But we're trying to, none of this is rehearsed. We are just really just talking raw about what happened. So you might find us we start into something and then it's like, wait a minute. Because we don't want to diss anybody, because we totally understand how everybody is entitled to their own opinion when you're in a band, and that's okay. And basically what it means is if the opinions get to the point where they're just making stress within the band, then it's time to make some changes.
Right. So we were becoming disenchanted with the band, and another band, there was a band called Cousin around the area at that point in time.
Yeah.
And they were having a hard time keeping a drummer for some reason. Mm-hmm. And there was a jam session at the Ambridge.
What's the name of that movie? Like that movie. Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap?
Yeah, the drummer situation.
With the drummer situation, it was like this is Spinal Tap, where they couldn't keep a drummer, things kept happening to the drummers and things of that nature. And there was a jam session, it was a benefit or something at the Ambridge, I think it was the SOI, downstairs this one night, and I went, and I don't know if you were there or not. I don't know why you wouldn't be when Mike was there.
Probably was there.
I think,
Yeah.
we went there and we performed.
Yeah, we got up and did some songs with them.
We got up and we did some songs, and we jammed. And the next thing I know, Marty calls me up. Well, Mike Trish was there. And I've known Mike for many, many years. And Marty Costanza's his cousin. And they had this band called Cousin. And they had a keyboard player, Aaron
Garari. And by the way, we used to go see their band all the time, Cousin, whenever we weren't playing. They were so good. And we really enjoyed them. And we started seeing them because Jimmy knew Mike, and we ran into Mike one time when he was getting ready to set up at a venue, and he says, "Hey, my band's playing tonight, you guys should come and see us." And we happened to be available that night, so we did, and we really enjoyed them. So whenever we weren't playing, we started following them around.
And the one thing that we liked about them was they did originals.
Yeah.
And the guys we were playing with at the time didn't really want to work on originals for whatever reason. Everybody's different. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to do originals. So after the jam session, Mike goes and talks to Marty, and they had just gotten a drummer, and he was kind of a jazz drummer. He played light, good drummer.
Yeah, I forget what his name was. He was a young kid.
Young kid, yeah, and he was a good drummer, but he really wasn't their style. They were a rock band.
Yeah.
And he was more or less like a light jazz drummer,
Yeah, he used brushes and things like that.
And he was good.
Yeah, he was good.
He was tasty. But anyway, Marty wasn't happy with him. Mike wasn't happy with him. The band wasn't happy with him. So they approached me and they said, "What would you think about joining Cousin?" And they said, "We realize, you perform with your wife and she can come too. So, we want both of you, both you and Dina." And I said, "Well, of course I wouldn't do it, if Dina couldn't come, because we have a band, we're playing quite often, we're doing pretty well." They didn't know about the turmoil in our band at that point in time. But Dina and I talked about it. We went over and we jammed with them over where they rehearsed a couple of times, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was really.
It
clicked
really good.
Like immediately. Just all of our personalities. So socially we clicked, musically we clicked. It was really great.
Vocally, we had Dina doing lead, Marty could sing lead, Mike could sing lead. We had two guitar players.
Aaron sang lead too.
Aaron sang lead. He was amazing.
Yeah, he did Beatles
Sounded like Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
He did. He sounded like Paul McCartney. So we had Dina on vocals, I played drums, Mike played guitar, Marty played guitar and keyboards. Mm-hmm. Aaron played keyboards, harmonica, guitar, sang. Anything he put his hands on, he could play. One of those kind of people.
He was talented.
Really talented.
Yes.
Maybe 21 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And and Stefan. Stefan on bass.
Yep.
So because they already had a bass player and they had everything else in place, I said, well, we maybe would want to bring Doug along with us too, because we said, we would really like to bring our bass player. And they said, well, we already have Stefan. Stefan's pretty good, and we'll let you bring your wife in, but we're going to keep Stefan. And if you don't want to do it that way, then that's a deal breaker. This is the way it has to be. And we were kind of torn in a way, because we didn't really want to crush Doug and Kim, because we'd been playing with them for a while, and there was some turmoil, with everybody. Mm-hmm. But we made the decision to go and play with Cousin because we thought we would have more fun, and it was a good opportunity.
That wasn't the time that Kim called you in the middle of the night and said,
"Yeah."
Oh, was it?
Yes. Yeah, he wanted to keep the name.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting to that.
Anyway, we decided that we were going to form with Cousin, and we said, well, what do you want to use for a name? And they said, well, Sidewinder is probably more established than Cousin. We don't play out as much as you do, and why don't we just use Sidewinder if you're okay with that? I said, I'm okay with it. I said, we change the types of music, we're like chameleon snakes. We changed the types of music that we do all the time.
We used to call it shedding our skin, because we're Sidewinder is a snake, and we were shedding our skin and creating a new image.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah.
So yes, I used to call it shedding our skin.
I started writing a song called that.
Good. So when we shed our skin from country to classic rock and some of the other stuff we did, we were going to shed our skin again and do some originals and get into more of a harder kind of rock. It was still classic rock.
Yeah, we did stuff like by Jet and.
Oh yeah, just like the Stones and
"Be My Girl" was our finishing song.
Oh well, yeah, that was killer. Marty did such a good job on "Be My Girl." Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it was such a good band.
Well, I think Mike sang it, and Marty, Marty played lead guitar. Marty was the lead guitar player in the band, and Mike was the rhythm guitar player. And Marty they were both really good on guitar. And Marty used to jump up on the bar, and like we used to play down at the SOI when it was called. No, I'm sorry, it was the Legion, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
The Legion.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Legion.
The Average Legion.
And at the time when we played there, the bar and everything was down in the basement. It was like this little speakeasy type of thing, the way it was set up, and it was so awesome.
It was very cool.
It was so awesome. It was so much fun. And then the club decided at some point, much later, they closed down, much later, even after we had all these different changes with the band.
Well, we'll get to that point.
And we'll get to that. But when we were playing downstairs, I mean, we had that place packed.
Yeah, right, but we're not even at that point yet. We're just telling you how the breakup came.
Fun. Yeah.
We told you what happened with Donnie.
I'm getting ahead of
now we're into the second chapter where we have Kim and Doug with us, and we had to make the very difficult decision to leave Kim and Doug and go with Cousin, which was Marty and Mike, Aaron, and Stefan.
Well, but what made it really difficult, I think, and the problem was that had we just decided to leave together and remain as Cousin, it wouldn't have caused as much friction with maybe Kim. Doug still would have been upset because he wouldn't have had the band. And Kim would have been upset because he didn't have the band. But the fact that it was almost like a double whammy to these guys, because the fact that we decided to continue as Sidewinder and leave those guys behind because we made this business decision created a lot of issues. And it was sad. I mean, I felt really, really bad for these guys. I did, because
I did too. It was very hurtful to me.
Mainly for Doug, because we were having some creative differences at the time with Kim, and we were probably going to, down the road, not be able to continue to work with him because he was really causing a lot of stress at the time for us within the band, because he wanted to go in some direction with his equipment choices and stuff like that, and it was not what we wanted to do.
Right.
So.
And again, that's why I say it's good to have people who are on the same page.
Right,
and that
exactly.
very seldom happens, really. It very seldom happens in bands. So we decided that we were going to go with Cousin, and we had to tell Kim and Doug. And I don't remember if we called them or if we told them in person.
I think we called them.
Yeah, which is not nice. We probably should have called a meeting and told them in person what we were doing, but
I'm not sure why. I think the reason why we didn't get in touch with them in person was because it happened so fast.
It did.
And we were due to play with Cousin, who created, turned out to be Sidewinder, like that week. So we had to make this decision like really quickly. Yeah. And we had to tell them right away, because if we would have went out as Sidewinder without them, and they would have found out, they would have been, that would have made it even worse. So it was just, the timing was bad.
Well, and the way we approached it, and I take the blame for this, we may have even emailed them. We did email them too, But I think that we called them as well and just said, hey, look, you know, we made the decision that we're going to go and we're going to join this band called Cousin, Kuzyn, and they had a CD out, and they were so good.
They really were.
Their vocals were good. The musicianship was good. It was really a good band. And then with the addition of Dina and I joining them with her vocals and them getting what they considered a decent drummer, it was good. We
have some video of that too, by the way. Not video footage that we took, but our friend Tom Messner, who follows a lot of the local bands around, at least he was at the time this was happening, and he used to take video of a lot of different bands that he enjoyed.
Tom's cool.
Yeah, and he also took amazing footage of us when we were together at the Hard Rock. Now, when we performed at the Hard Rock, we had a little bit of a different breakup with the band as well, but we were still Sidewinder and still had some of these people we're talking about now in the band at that time. So lots of changes, lots of things that happened, which leads us up to the story when we get to the final episode, whenever that will be, of the story of how us began, and we'll let you know what led us up into becoming this duo that we are now.
Anyway, I found out I say anyway a lot after Dina speaks. We were telling Kim and telling Doug, you know, that we were going to join Cousin, and we told them if they like, we could try to find them another drummer and whatever they wanted to do so that they could keep the band together. However, I was keeping the name because I originated the band in 1990 with Donnie and with Bill and with Rendezvous, Rhonda, and Julie. So I said, look, I've got the rights to the name, which I did, and I said, so I'm keeping the name. Well, I received a very nasty email stating that they wanted the Sidewinder name, and since we screwed them the way that we did, they feel that they deserve it. And so there was a little bit of friction there, and then finally, after they thought about it and calmed down, then everything was okay. And we tried to remain friends, but you know, sometimes it's just when you're in a band and you get let go, or even sometimes when you split up or the band breaks up, it's just very hurtful and sometimes difficult to stay in touch with people. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's worse than getting fired from a job.
And in some ways it's almost like a divorce.
Right.
And we'll get into that at another time. Anyway, I think that brings kind of a close to the second chapter, which was Kim and Doug, and opens up the next segment, which was us merging with Cousin.
Yes.
So we could probably keep it, you know, like that short, only because we talked for about 20 minutes before we started.
Sure. Okay.
Where are we time-wise? You know?
Let's see. We are into 43 minutes again. So yeah, so this is perfect.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up.
So, thank you so much for hanging out with us today on this podcast, episode number 2 of Us Because. And we look forward to chatting with you again, where we will pick up how things went when we joined with Cousin and became the new Sidewinder at that time in our next podcast.
Some really good stories there. It was a really fun band. In my opinion, that was one of the best Sidewinder bands we had.
Yeah, it was really great.
You know, then down the road we had good Sidewinder bands too. But oh gosh, when we merged with Marty and Mike, who were cousins, that's where they got the name, and Stefan and Aaron, oh my goodness. My goodness. If she puts a link up, you know, to any of the performances, or maybe you should do that for next time when we actually talk about that period. Because right now we're talking about the Doug and Kim.
True.
Do we have any videos with them?
I might. I'll check.
Newcastle Moose or some of the other places we played?
I know
there were many.
Yeah, I know I have a video with Doug playing, but I think Bob's playing and Doug's on guitar.
I don't know if we have anything with Kim.
Wait, we had Bob in the band as bass player too for a while.
Well, that comes much later.
Yes. Oh, there's so much, you guys.
You're just
so
getting
much.
so far ahead of us.
Okay.
That's,
So, I know.
It's hard for me to follow, and I'm the one telling the story.
Yeah.
And, it's like we're just all over the place.
But that's okay. That's what podcasts are for. I mean, you just...
I'm not good at podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, because I would just want to play a straight story talking about, okay, this is the Donnie Sidewinder, this is the Kim and Doug Sidewinder, this is the Cousin Sidewinder, this is the Bob Spack Sidewinder, this is the David Cipriani and Bob Spack Sidewinder, this is the Tommy Sidewinder. Rather than saying, oh yeah, well, we did this with Tommy, but that was way down the road, but yeah, let's get back to where we were. To me, I get confused.
Yeah.
So I'm not very good at this podcast stuff. I'm sorry.
No, you're doing a great job. You really are.
Thanks, baby. You're sweet.
But what I wanted to say is, if you like this video, please do give it the thumbs up. It really helps our channel. We're trying to get our channel to grow. Also share our video with your friends, family, and followers whom you think might be interested in the type of content that we're creating here. We will have other things in addition to podcasts on our channel as well. So if you like music and you like, you like us and you're interested in what it is that we have to say and what we're doing, then please subscribe. Hit the little bell as well so that you don't miss a single episode.
Ding.
Whenever we post. And I will also leave the links below to our Facebook page as well as our Patreon page, where you can join us as our very exclusive fan club and get specific information that you can only get on Patreon. It's very inexpensive, you guys. There's 2 different levels to join. You can choose one or the other. There's our $3 level and our $5 level, and that is per month. So if you think about it, if you're a coffee drinker or a beverage drinker, for example, where you get a beverage every day on your way to work or while you're out and about, you will spend at least $3 to $5 on that specialty drink or that coffee drink each time you get one. This is $5 or $3, whichever level that you decide to choose per month. So it's really a great deal. We hope that you'll join us. I will try to remember to leave all the links below, and if I missed something that I said I would link, then please leave a message in the comments, comment and let us know. Also, we love your comments, so please do comment and tell us, just say hello or, anything you would like to say. But keep it clean. We don't want any hate. There will be no
haters,
room,
no haters.
No room for anything disrespectful. We will, just so you know, we will be deleting your comment and we will block you if you are rude. So we only want, peace and love on this channel, okay? So we appreciate that. And with all of that being said, thank you so much. We'll see you next time in episode number 3. Love you.
Love you. And by the way, we have no animosity toward Kim or Donnie or Doug.
Correct.
It was just like business and...
Yeah, we're just telling our stories. So
just telling our story.
That's all. If you guys are watching, or if any of you out there are watching and you know the people that we're talking about, because we mentioned last names.
We did.
Which we didn't really have to, but we did. There is absolutely no hatred at all.
No,
we love everyone that we played with. We are blessed that we played with all of these musicians, because every single one of these musicians have been amazing friends and people to work with as well. And it's just that sometimes you need to move on. Right. So.
Yep. Yeah. It just happens sometimes. Yeah. For whatever reason.
So
like I said, no animosity. We're still friends with everybody, or at least in our eyes we are. And if they're not, well, I apologize if we didn't go about talking to you about it the right way. I guess maybe that was my bad. I should have just called a meeting. But you live and learn as you go through being in a band or life or whatever the case may be. Heck, when Phil Collins quit Genesis, he faxed them.
And with that being said, we'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay safe.